Shooter Breeze topic number 1 tonight says, imagine doing all this and the white man still doesn't choose you. Where is the self-respect? This comes with a link, of course, that takes us to, maybe I don't have it up. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I do. This takes us to this link right here. So it's a short video. I'll play it twice and then we'll discuss it.
We sometimes have that resting bitch face. Get rid of it, because that's going to immediately intimidate a white guy to be like, oh yeah, no, never mind. She's probably not even interested or don't even want to be bothered. Crack a smile. Crack a smile, a little wink, or, a little flirtatious type of motion or gesture. That is going to get his attention, baby. Do not be afraid to speak first. Say hello. Hello does not hurt anybody. Actually, believe it or not, sometimes a hello can go a long way. You make somebody's day sometimes by just saying hello.
You have a white boyfriend, do not use the N-bomb in front of him. If you're in his company, don't use the word. And she was like, Keena, I use the word. So he think he can use the word. And I'm like, he think he can.
Keys of keeping a healthy relationship with a man or keeping a man is to keep the peace. Be his peace.
Black women, if you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
You have a choice. Either self-improve and get your passports, or continue to put up with whatever Black men put up with that other men don't have to put up with.
We sometimes have that resting bitch face. Get rid of it, because that's going to immediately intimidate a white guy to be like, oh yeah, no, never mind. She's probably not even interested or don't even want to be bothered. Crack a smile. Crack a smile, a little wink, or, a little flirtatious type of motion or gesture. That is going to get his attention, baby. Do not be afraid to speak first. Say hello. Hello does not hurt anybody. Actually, believe it or not, sometimes a hello can go a long way. You make somebody's day sometimes by just saying hello.
You have a white boyfriend, do not use the N-bomb in front of him. If you're in his company, don't use the word. And she was like, Keena, I use the word. So he think he can use the word. And I'm like, he think he can use the word.
Deliver it. And also question your partner if he has opposing views on something as a Black woman that you are very passionate about. You want to hear more about that? Get my book, A White Man's Whore.
One of the keys of keeping a healthy relationship with a man or keeping a man is to keep the peace. Be his peace. Have this kind of atmosphere where if you're around him, he knows it's peaceful.
Black women, if you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
You have a choice. Either self-improve and get your passports, or continue to put up with whatever Black men put up with that other men don't have to put up with.
Sometimes.
God damn. What's crazy about that is when I'm around young adult Black women, I tell them much of the same stuff and they have an issue with it. Like I told some young Black women recently that I think Black women don't do the things that, simple little things that often will get you a good mate. Like, just say hello sometimes. We see each other in a store, say hello, smile, things of that nature, little things. And black women that I've told that to, many of them have pushed back against it. But you hear in this video, a woman admits that the shit that they make black men put up with, this white boy ain't gonna do that. And I find that very troubling. Why is it that our women have that double standard, if you will? Why do I have to pay the higher price? It's really annoying, but I said my piece. Let me hear from the panel. Let me start off with Buana. Buana, imagine doing all this and the white man still doesn't choose you. Where is the self-respect?
Well, I find this to be very sad. Coco, if I'm being honest with you, and I wouldn't say because I wouldn't say. Of course, we know all of it on the panel know that this is not all black women. All of us know that, but there are a sector of black women who believe and think that the white man ice is colder, just as you have a sector of black men who think that the white woman ice is colder. So when they engage in a relationship that people who come from their own community, their standards and what they do towards one another is not as high. They show their real face, their real I don't give a shit face. But when they are dating people from outside of their community, in particular white men or white women, the relationship changes. Listen to the amounts of adjustments that these women have to go through in just being with a partner who is not of their race. And the adjustments is not a bad one. The adjustments that they are making is in fact a good one. Going to the gym, back in the mind, not being disagreeable, having a level of peace. Shouldn't you have that for your own self first and then your partner, somebody who looks like you? Why would you want to mistreat somebody who looks like you? Because the barrier of entry is so low. I don't have to do much to myself. Therefore, I don't have to do much to a person, my partner, my equal, someone who looks just like me. I don't have to put on makeup. I don't have to go and do my ones and tens for. Well, this is comments from women, young women, younger women, because I have me personally, I have non-starters, non-starters, which means if I gauge a woman like this when I date women, if I have a date with you at a particular time, you must be ready for that time. Not be sitting around waiting for you after or hours and hours and hours just for us to go out. You know why I say that? Because you are prepared every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, dressed and ready to go to work. And you will put on makeup and be ready for that office job. So what you are willing to do for business, you are willing to do if you are willing to do it on a personal level, what you willing to put up with for a business on a business level, then it means you shouldn't be in conversation with one another. I have non-starters. Some women for me, I just watch their nature, I watch what they do, and I watch what they would be willing to engage in and what they are not willing to engage in. If you are willing to mistreat me, or sidestep me, or treat me like some second class individual, we have no longer have need for conversation. I tell Coco this all the time when we have these kinds of relationship discussions. Why bother? There's so many other women out here, black women out here, who are willing to go to the ones and tens to be with a respectable mating partner. Why bother to be with a person who don't want to be with you simply because they don't see you as 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 enough? You don't meet the standard. I just go on with you just to fill my biological needs. Who needs that? Get the hell out of here. I'll date your sister. Maybe she know how to cook some rice and food and pat me on my stomach and rub my belly. So but Much respect to these sisters. No disrespect to them. Let them do what they gotta do. I'm just saying there's so many more women out here, and I don't really no need to go to the ones and tens of this nonsense. But good luck to them. Good luck to them. I'll stop there.
But I feel you on that. I will just say that the one kind of slight issue with what you're saying is that you got to pay attention to what these women are doing. These women are looking into a camera, right? Sitting up on the interwebs, on the socials, and they're giving instructions for other women, right? And the issue becomes, in fact, and this is a conversation for another day, but I don't know if you guys noticed something, especially in the West, because only is over on the continent side. It's probably different. But in the West, our relationships are affected by the internet. Like, the days when a man kind of wanted to come home on Friday, with his gin and juice, smokes or whatever, and chill out. Like nowadays, your woman is on Instagram looking at these other women in Dubai. Never mind these women getting shitted on in Dubai, but they're looking at it and they're looking at you like, how come I have this no good man here who won't take me on trips and whatnot? So these things do affect even the regular or so-called regular women around us. That's the only caveat I would add to what you're saying, though.
Coco, but
yeah.
Coco, no relationship is 100% entertainment. Where we go from one high to the next high to the next high. There are sometimes in any serious relationship, boredom kicks in. You don't always have fun all the time. What's this thing in the Western world where you have to be having constant fun in a relationship? What about just being at peace? At peace. It's like we always have to be consistently entertained in a relationship. I think that these women need to stop lying in reference to relationship and tell them sometimes in a relationship, a good committed relationship, you have boredom, you have times of excitement. Yes, you have times of travel and a good time. Sometimes you have downtime. Why sell these women the dream of, oh, if you just date me, we'll be traveling every week? That's a lie. That's nonsense. It's just nonsense, man. But like I say, man, I wish them well. I wish them good luck.
Yeah, me, I wish him a F you, quite frankly. Should be topic number one. Imagine doing all this and the white man still doesn't choose you. Where's the self-respect? What say you, my brother Oni?
Yeah, so I think, so this is a little bit controversial, but what I'm going to say is this. I think my favorite movement in America is the KWAZ movement. I know a lot of us shouldn't like them, but one of the things that they did was they told us, like Caribbeans, I guess, right? No disrespect to my brother Black Steel, right? But they told us, we Caribbeans, they said, y'all not us. And I think one of the things that we, I guess I'm not trying to be like one of them Caribbean type, whatever. But what I'm saying is that what we have to come to terms with is that a lot of these problems are American. Like this is a uniquely American problem. And I'm not saying that, you don't find this in the Caribbean. I'm not saying that America doesn't lead the way in debauchery, because of course it does, right? But what I'm saying is that a lot of what we're seeing is American or even city folk. And you could always either find somebody in the village or find somebody who's not as, didn't lose everything so much. Because what I want to say is that these women are toxic, yes. But there's this brother, in fact, he has this YouTube. I was checking it out for a minute. He's I think I maybe one of those the YouTubers, but dude's like a polygamist. He's in Africa. He's a passport bro, and he's always complaining about black women. But then I'm looking at this brother, and I'm like, he is so toxic himself. Like, this dude gets into fights with prostitutes more than once. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do it one time, that makes sense, right? Because you would expect them to fight, whatever. But this dude's just fighting prostitutes and getting into fights in foreign countries, getting kicked out of dorm after dorm, in after in. And it's like, and he's like, man, black women are so toxic. And it's like, we don't say it, but and this is the trouble with the passport bro thing, is that some of these dudes, some of these Americans, let's just call them what it is, are really toxic too. I was just walking with the sister, it was 3 a.m. or something, right? 2 a.m. And these brothers were there, and I don't know why this sister had to ask me at this point in time, but these 3 brothers were there walking slowly in front of us. And then, after we passed them, actually one of them says Habari, Zayako, or Habari Zakazi, something like that, like how's your work or something like that. And then I was just Zuri Mambo Paul, I don't know what I'm saying, right? But she didn't, I don't know why she said it in English. She says, can you fight? Now, why is she saying that while the dude's there? I don't know, but I guess she knows they don't speak English, right? But she said she didn't feel too safe. But man, I'm telling you, man, in this country, you feel safe. Okay, now it might be because I don't know the language. Maybe it is not safe. I don't know. But so far, nothing. Like brothers be walking up on you middle of the night and just how was your day? Did they have a good day? Just chilling, just mind their business, and bear in mind that you are somewhere where you make 20 times as much as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And there's no violence. There's no crime. Now, people are saying there is violence and crime. I don't think so, but obviously there probably is. But whatever. My point being though, but like if you were in America and you walking at 2 a.m. so you got to be looking over your back. You don't feel safe, and you're not safe. Everybody knows you're not safe, and so I'm saying this to say that even though we say these sisters got something wrong with them, we know that it's both demographics, and then what we're not picking up on, as let's say Caribbeans or even as Pan-Africanists, whatever, is that it's really a local problem. That when you leave Brooklyn, you're not getting the problems of New Jersey, or whatever city in New Jersey, right? You're not getting the problems of Jersey. You're not getting the problems of Las Vegas. You're not getting so forth. And when you just leave America, you're not getting the problems of America. And this right here, this toxic woman persona, right? It's an American thing. And even people here in Africa know, oh yeah, that person, that sort of personality, that's a American, like it's just an American cultural thing that they just developed. Just like how, you could expect a Jamaican girl to be like, just rude for you, for whatever. It's the same thing, and we just have to come to terms with that. And so while I don't agree with the quote unquote passport bros, I'm gonna tell people, especially us who are, from out of the country, like we're not even from America, right? And we're looking at America like, what's going on? You guys need to clean your act. The act's not going to be clean. And this is what I wanted to say just finally. I know Juan's like, oh yeah, this guy. He's back. No, what I want to say finally is this. Marcus Garvey, inside of one of Marcus Garvey's books, no, Amy Jacques Garvey, his wife, she wrote down that I think Marcus Garvey was saying that one of the reasons why his movement didn't succeed is because the Americans have a big money culture. And so they're talking in 1920s about a big money culture in America. Even Du Bois was writing about, he's like, oh, if Atlanta goes the way of so on and so forth, we're going to have so much corruption, blah, blah, blah. Du Bois is writing about a money culture in 1919, and this is 100 years later, unchecked. And you can't check it because America is like the money capital. So I was just saying, yeah, man, it doesn't make any sense to complain about these women. It doesn't make any sense to complain about the men. It just makes sense to just distance yourself. And that's what some people do. When they come to this country, they distance themselves. And then we say, why are you distancing yourself? Oh, no, you got to so forth. But it's just common damn sense. If people don't share your values, if people are really hating their own women and men, you got to just say, okay, let me back up. It just makes a lot of sense. But anyway, that's all I'm saying.
Welcome back, Oni. Welcome back. No, I like everything you had to say. I think the thing that people just don't talk about is how it starts to creep over the boundaries. At one time, certain women did certain things. They stayed a certain locale, etc., and it kind of stayed as a minority type of thing within a community over there or down there. But now, this kind of thing is really becoming the culture. like I talked about in the show before, we really in a whore culture type thing out here in the West. You know, it's all transactional. I talked about that on Forecast Show with Considerate Cheek and Bakari. Like, it's all transactional. Imagine me and Black Seal talked about it a couple weeks ago. Imagine you have to cancel a date with a woman and she tells you to send her something for the inconvenience. And it's these types of folks on the screen who are kind of pushing those types of messages. And that's the issue that I have. Black Seal would say to everything you heard and see.
So I don't know. I don't agree with Oni that it's an American thing, because we all know that we can definitely find plenty of sellouts and coons on the continent. I think we don't really examine and really question how being in a white dominated world affects your psyche and how you internalize it over time, but how that affects women as well. We always talk about how it affects men, but these women, they're to the point to where they know how to behave. You know, they know certain behaviors that they think that men want, but they reserve that for white men because in their minds, black men aren't good enough to deserve to be smiled at, to be talked to be punctual. You know, they just niggas. So who cares how they feel, right? To the point where this woman has made a book, A White Man's Whore. And she would rather be a white man's whore than a black man's wife. So it's just, to me, I think we don't really examine how living in a white dominated world has affected the psyche of black women, because to the point where they not only hate the black men in their lives, but to where they feel the white men are superior and they deserve to be treated better just because they're white. So they would take a white trash man, you know, versus a esteemed brother, and this white man would be better just by the basis of his white skin. So this is a problem that we can see that affects black people all across the diaspora, from bleaching of the skin, the desire to be close to whiteness as possible, to where you would get with a white man, not call yourself a white man's wife, a white man's whore. So you see, the closer they get to whiteness, the more they degrade themselves. I know this is probably not a great number of black women who feel this way. This is really more of just a very loud minority. But I think because of the internet, they're able to spread more of their toxic message. And you will find black people, black women who have become disillusioned, who have been hurt in their past by a black man, veer towards this line of thinking. And these women should, I don't know. I definitely believe that if you go over there, stay over there. If you want to remove yourself from the black community, that's perfectly fine. But just know there's no coming back. And I think that the benefit to these videos is that we can see these women's mindset. And, you know, the internet is forever. You're not going to hide that. So once they get slutted out, once they get tired of being a white man's whore, you know, that way they can't sneak back in the community with the black power fist and the afro. But yeah, it's just really just very disturbing how they see the white man has an intrinsic value just because he's white, and they don't understand how that has affects their mentality as well. So I'll leave it there, folks. Thank you.
Well, I want to add this. They do come back to the community. Like there's tons. Sometimes they come back and say, "Oh, I used to hold out to the white man. That's why I know a little more." And then we celebrate them and we look and listen to them and say, "Oh, look, there's proof," and so on and so forth. We don't, you know. There's an old video of Claude Anderson where he says, he's at some, you know, there's a bunch of people, like a bunch of ethnic groups that are talking to a group, and they're like, at the end of this thing, he's like, let's talk about accountability. I want to talk about accountability. And then at some point, I think the Native American guy was like, look, we ain't going to talk about that shit because your people is the only people who do not hold people accountable. You know, if a Native American wants to go hang out with white folk, we don't take them back. But if a black person want to go hang out with white folk, y'all have at the cookout next week. And this was like an American guy telling this to Claude Anderson. Claude Anderson, repeat the story. And it's like that's the truth. It's the sad truth, and everybody else can see it. And I just wanted to just talk about Trigger Happy's comment about, the thing is this, I was just passing by the bar, because like I said, it's 3 a.m., a whole bunch of prostitutes out there, but the difference between the prostitutes and, like what Bit of Medicine was saying about, the culture here is that in America is that the prostitutes are just the prostitutes, and everybody knows them. Like, that's what they're doing. That's how they pass the time. That's how they make their living, right? These women are just, like it's just different, But anyway, I'll just say that.
I don't personally think. I kind of agree with Black Steel, and when Black Steel says that this is a loud minority, and this gutter culture is a borderless gutter culture. It's borderless because the same gutter women and men who spread their toxic nonsense all over the internet in the United States, there exists elements like that throughout the Black diaspora. And we have to be on. There's gutter culture in Nigeria. There's gutter culture in Tanzania. You know that, like you say, it's Saturday night. There's gutter culture in the Caribbean. Definitely. The difference is the gutter, my Western brothers and sisters who want to spread this toxic gutter culture, they have access to the internet, access to media. So we are able to see more of it as opposed to areas where they don't have as much access to see that gutter culture. And unfortunately, how the internet works is this negativity is something that is of interest to people who are well informed, who are properly socialized, and who are poorly socialized. All of us come to look at to drink from the trough of this smut that is on YouTube on a daily basis. This is the reason why their numbers are so high, their views are so high. Intelligent people among the poorly informed people like to watch this kind of nonsense. But I wouldn't limit it to a geographical area. Like when he is saying but when he says this is some problems that exist are first world problems. Some problems that exist are American problems as opposed to Caribbean problems. That's an actual fact. But I would say that the gutter culture sometimes that we look at is something that is borderless. Just as Black Steel was suggesting that you have people who engage in bleaching their faces in the Caribbean. You have some American women who go all to the Dominican Republic or even in South Florida or whatever to get butt surgeries and their lips enhancements and all manner of different things they're doing to themselves. And then they spread it all over the internet. So I think that part of gutter culture is a borderless culture. That is not exclusive to just the West. But I would just leave it there, just put it there and say that.
But I want to agree with everything you just said. That was going to be my response to Trigger Happy as well. The transactions that occur between Black men and women on the continent in Africa, they don't have a majority whore culture or gutter culture, as Buana calls it, right? They don't have a majority of that culture. So whatever those transactions are, and Oni talked about it the last time he was in TZ. Whatever that is, it's not based in this whoredom thing, and that's the difference. The difference here is that we know it's based in that. So when I bring up the woman who charged the inconvenience fee because the guy canceled the date, we know what that's based in. That's not based in no tradition of the peoples in a certain area where, if a woman comes to see you, you pay, you give us some monies or something like that. No, we know it's not based in that. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. If there's no last thoughts here, or if there's any last thoughts, I guess now will be the time to drop them. If not, I want to thank you guys for that discussion. I also want to say what's up to KW Dawn 7, Ua Bantuam, and Joe, who entered the chat. So thank all of you for coming through. Should